Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing my first impressions review of the brand new Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk palette of pops. And of course, I will be completing today's eye look. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. This is our pink, sparkly, positivity-filled bubble on YouTube, where we talk about our love of luxury beauty, fragrance, and so much more. So if that sounds like something that interests you, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell right now so you don't miss another thing. Now let's go ahead and open her up. This arrived 2 days ago and I've peeked inside, but I did not touch because I wanted this to be a real bona fide first impressions. I've resisted watching any other reviews because I didn't want my opinion to be swayed. But here she is in all of her glory. The colors are so beautiful. But as soon as I saw this on the Charlotte Tilbury website, I just had to have it. I was so enamored with the photos she had posted to promote it. The palette of pops retails for $53, which seemed a bit steep for Charlotte Tilbury. It's not far off from Chanel at, I believe, $62, or the Dior Quince. It's certainly less expensive than a Tom Ford eyeshadow quad at $88, but with Tom Ford you get a lot more product. In fact, the first time I saw this and I did my sneak peek, I opened it up and I think I probably gasped because these eyeshadows look incredibly small. It's not going to be the best value for your money. I knew that going into it. In fact, I had recently watched a video from Tara Lynn and she was discussing the cost per gram of the eyeshadow, and Charlotte Tilbury, she said, was one of the most expensive out of any luxury brand. But just because you don't get as much product for your money, it does not mean that this is not a good value. Hear me out. I've always believed in quality over quantity, and if this palette is as good as it looks in photos, and if these eyeshadows go on as beautifully as they do in the video, this is something that I will probably use up in its entirety. I love these colors. I love the sparkle all over the lid. It's perfect for holiday parties. I would use this every single week. I would take it with me on trips and probably go through every single one of these eyeshadows. Versus if I wanted to spend $40 to $50 on a much larger palette that I would be lucky if I even made a dent in. I really prefer eyeshadow quads, maybe 5 shadows, so a palette like this really is a good value as long as the shadows are high quality and you're going to use it. The pop shades are always best applied with fingers, so I'm going to go ahead and start right here. Feels very velvety. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Relief! Let's see what it looks like, but it feels really nice. Feels really soft, which is good. Okay, I'm gonna swatch it right here. Beautiful. Wow. Next, let's go into this pink shadow in the corner. I feel so guilty defiling these eyeshadows. They look so perfect and pristine. Okay. Oh yes, that is stunning. There's a really decent amount of color payoff. I thought it would be a lot more sparkle and shine and less color pigment, but it's very pretty. Going into this one. This one feels a little bit loose. Do you hear that? I don't know why that's rattling around in there. It makes me a little bit nervous. Oh! Okay. So that's disappointing. What the heck? That is so sad. I knew I could hear rattling and I didn't understand why. I thought maybe it was loose. I didn't realize it was just gonna pop right out. Okay, that's okay. I don't mind that. I mean, listen, nothing is perfect in this world. I have no problem just gluing that right back in there. As long as the eyeshadow itself is beautiful, we have no problems. I am a little bit shocked. I don't know if that has ever happened to me before. Oof. But the color is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I cannot get over that. Wow. Yeah, the other eyeshadows don't sound loose at all. But here we can see, actually this is a better visual of just how tiny these little eyeshadows actually are. You do get 4 of them, but these little pans are Barbie size. Last but not least, I'm going into the deeper shade right here in the corner. my goodness. This is beautiful. Lots of pigment in that brown shade. That is stunning. This makes me feel a little bit better about the color story of the palette because I think you can use just these 4 shades to create an individual look. I want to pull this up for you guys. Okay, here it is. This is the video that was posted the other day on the Charlotte Tilbury Instagram page that inspired me to purchase this palette. I have been living for this Charlotte Tilbury supermodel makeup lately. She has the fluffy eyebrows, glossy lips. Her skin is glowing, but it's a softer complexion. She doesn't have a really harsh contour or a really stark white baked under eye area. And altogether, it's just very soft and glamorous. So this is my ideal makeup right now. I'm going to try to create something similar using the palette today. And I'm still honestly in disbelief. I am utterly shocked that that eyeshadow just plopped right out. I am going to lay something down first, so I'm going to begin with a little bronzer in the crease, kind of my typical go-to step. So I'm using the Film Star Bronze and Glow, and with a fluffy brush, I'm just going to apply a little bit of this inside the crease. That way it's not all shimmer and glitter all over the lids. Not that I would mind that. That is exactly the look that I am trying to achieve actually, but it'll make it a little bit softer. I've been so excited because now that I have my eyebrows microbladed, I can fake a fluffy brow by combing all of my natural hairs that I do have upward. And of course they have this healing cream. It's basically Neosporin on them right now. And so all of the hairs just sort of stick in place. This brow is looking a little bit crazy today. I thought I would be one of those lucky ones who didn't have any scabbing or patchiness during the healing process, but of course not. Today I woke up and this one still looks great, but this one is starting to lose a couple of the scabs, so it looks a little bit funny. I cannot wait until they are finally completely healed, but it's only been a week, so I probably have 3 more weeks to go. And then I'll get a touch up. Picking up my palette of pops and a flat shader brush, I'm going into this really beautiful pale champagne shade first, and I'm going to apply that all over the inner lid. Next, with my fingers, I'm going to pick up the pink shade and I'm going to put that all over the center of the lid. I wanted to start with the brush simply because I don't think my finger is small enough to be as precise in the inner lid as I want it to be, but these shadows are truly best applied with fingers. I'm torn on whether to use my fingers or the brush to apply a little bit of this deep shadow. I think I'm gonna just use the brush for now and see how it goes on. And this is just the little Anastasia brush that comes in their palettes. I cleaned all of my brushes last night. They're still a little bit damp, so I'm just picking up this flat shader side. And I'm going to put a little bit of depth in the outer V. I like it. It's applying really nicely. I'm very softly, very carefully going to blend out the edge of the eyeshadow. Next, using the flat shader brush again, I'm going to pick up this burnt copper color right here. And I'm going to run this very carefully underneath the lower lash line. and this is the complete look using this Pillow Talk palette of pops. I really love the way it turned out. I'm incredibly pleased with these eyeshadows. They're so beautiful. I love how they're so reflective. They almost look glossy and wet on the eyelids, but it's not a chunky glitter. In fact, I had zero fallout on my cheeks, which is the true sign of a high quality eyeshadow. I still struggle to blend a little bit towards my eyebrows since I have this Neosporin type healing gel all over my eyebrows, so it's going to be a struggle for me for the next few weeks doing my makeup. I'm trying to be as minimal with my eyeshadow as possible, but I could not wait to dip into this palette. The shadows themselves are stunning. I love the 4 shades of this particular quad, so as much as I may look into getting the holiday palette of pops as well now that I've become so obsessed with these eyeshadows, I'm so glad that I picked this one up in particular. I love this creamy pale champagne shade. The pink is stunning. I really love this kind of middle neutral shade right here. It's kind of the copper. Immediately after I finish filming, I'm just gonna glue that sucker back in there and I'm not even going to stress about it. This shade, this I think I oohed and awed over as soon as I swatched it, has been the real kind of surprise for me. This is the dark horse of the palette. It is so incredibly beautiful. Initially when I saw the video on the Charlotte Tilbury Instagram, I thought, I bet there's some other eyeshadow underneath there. There's no way she created this look using just this one palette. But after applying it for myself and seeing that you do actually get a lot of color payoff and pigment within the sparkle, I think it's quite possible that she used just that eyeshadow palette, and I think you can create a lot more looks using this palette because it is so deep and it's not just sort of like a sheer, almost transparent glitter shade, the way the rest of the Celestial shadows are sort of a little bit softer. So you do have a darker pop within the palette of pops. This eyeshadow would also be beautiful with a smoky eye if you did one dark eyeshadow all over the lid and then pop that directly in the center for some luminosity and some life. Ugh, that would just be stunning. So I think there are a lot of options. Even though this palette may seem incredibly one-dimensional since they're all the same texture, you can create a nice variety of looks here. I'm excited to continue playing with this. It is just as beautiful as I thought it would be. So, whew! I am so happy. There is so much relief going through my bones right now because I did think, did I do the right thing spending over $50 on a simple eyeshadow quad that's all shimmery eyeshadows? But truly it is stunning. This is the type of eyeshadow that I know I will use up every single eyeshadow in this pan. I'm going to get a ton of use out of it every single day, through the work week, on the weekends, holiday parties coming up. I mean, that could be my go-to holiday palette because it has enough color range in there. I think it's just so perfect. You don't need a huge, big, bulky palette. You don't need 10 different eyeshadows to create one look. You really can have something as simple as this little palette of pops and create all of your sophisticated evening looks with just this. That's what I'm planning to do. Overall, I am so happy that I picked up the Pillow Talk palette of pops. It is a stunning eyeshadow palette. It's right up my alley. I don't think it's going to really stand out for everyone, and especially if you already own a lot of the eyeshadow quads from Charlotte, this may be something that you just skip over for now. I love it. Right now I know it's available on Charlotte Tilbury's website, and I imagine it will be making its way out to stores and retailers sometime very soon. Check it out, see what you think in person, and be sure to let me know your thoughts. And that completes today's video. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me any of your comments, your questions down below. I love hearing from you guys. Let me know if you plan to pick this up or any of the Charlotte Tilbury holiday collection. Drop me a comment so we can keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking all of the products that I used today on my face down in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.